You have all these stars who are working in the industry and, so many things are going right. And then you have the prison sentence. Like, how did you cope with that? How did you get through that?
It was just a whirlwind. The toughest thing I went through was the moms talking about it on the show. And one of the producers that we had later on in the show when it moved to LA that was just indignant. He was just cruel and wanted them to keep talking about it. In the meantime, my criminal defense attorneys had contacted the show, the network. You cannot talk about this. It's an ongoing investigation. You are jeopardizing this case and blah, 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 blah. And he didn't care. He just kept at it. And the moms were stupid and kept doing what they were told instead of some sense of morality, instead of some sense of loyalty and been kinder on me and just not talked about it.
Was there any backlash for that, them talking about an ongoing investigation when it happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the prosecutor for the city, his closing statement in a courtroom, his final line after he gave his closing statement was, Abby Lee Miller, is she a dance mom or a dance con?
Really?
You're like, I love that.
And my attorneys don't object. I'm sitting there. And they're like, well, you can't object. It's his closing statement. And I'm like, well, say something. I'm paying you all this money, $1.2 million. Say something. It was a witch hunt because I was mean and tough on a TV show. The people of Pittsburgh went after me, and that's it. Instead of throwing us a parade for all the publicity we gave to the city, and all the money and the, filming there and all that, and the restaurants that we patronized and the caterers and all that. Yeah, it was definitely a witch hunt.
Did it feel like the city turned its back on you in a way?
Absolutely. And why I went to prison, there were 21 indictments and only one stuck. I own a house in Orlando, Florida, a vacation home, and it was an adjustable rate mortgage. It was sometimes $4,000 or $5,000 a month. My mortgage payment would fluctuate. It was insane. And that's how I kind of got into trouble with my building and everything, because I didn't have the money to pay it because I kept paying it to this house. Well, anyway, on and on and on. So my bankruptcy attorney sat on the stand and said what the account was, or the account was that the bank wouldn't have negotiated a rate for me had they known I was on a TV show. That was what it was about. And I didn't want to walk away from my house. I never wanted to walk away because I was too afraid that I wouldn't get credit again to buy another house. I was kind of the girl math kind of person. And and I told my attorneys, no way, I'm not walking away from the house. This is years before the case. And behind my back, without my signature, without my knowledge, they had gone to Chase Bank and said, she's walking away from this house unless you negotiate. They couldn't get a phone call returned. They couldn't get an email returned. Chase just wasn't dealing with them at all. Just completely ignoring them. Until they said, she's going to walk away from the house. Then it was, oh, wait a minute. We can work something out here. So they negotiated the rate down to 4.9. That wasn't even low back then. It was nothing. So the judge literally sat there and said, if anyone at Chase Bank knew you were on a TV show, they would have never negotiated this rate so low. And I sentenced you to a year and a day in prison. I went to prison because of maybe walking away from a vacation home, which I didn't. I still own the house till this day, and I still make the mortgage payment. And I didn't pay it off the whole time I was doing a show. I just never paid it off because I was making a point that I'm still paying it every month, no problem.
How long was this whole process? Because you must have been in court a lot, and it just must have been...
I was in court twice, 3 times. That was it.
Oh, really? It was just that fast?
They saw a lot of other people in court that I didn't know about behind my back. They flew around the world. I think Pittsburgh spent $4.5 million on my case.
That's a lot of money.
It's stupid. They could have just knocked on my door. I would have told them everything. I'm like an open book. They never knocked on my door once in Pittsburgh. They never asked me. I would have said, come on in. You want to cook? You want some chips? What do you need to know? I would have told them everything they needed to know. Did I make mistakes? Yes. Did I do some stupid things? Yes. A stupid thing would be like coming out here to LA and opening a bank account without getting the judge's permission first in the bankruptcy case, the judge's permission first on a Saturday when I had 10 checks in my hand that were going to expire from shooting a television show, and I had no money to spend while I was here on gas, on food, on this, on that, because it was all these checks that I had to put in the bank. So I had to open a bank account at Wells Fargo to deposit these checks. Then Monday, I called and said, can I have permission to do this? But I already did it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of stuff that I did wrong and I was punished for. Yeah, it's asinine. And I stayed there for 8.5 months. And had I done a year and a day, I would have died in prison.
Was it awful? Was it okay? Like how?
It was, some of it was awful and torturous and humiliating, and other stuff was wonderful and great. I lost 127 pounds and I read 150 books and I made some friends that I'll have for the rest of my life.
Do you stay in touch with some
Yes.
people you met? Wow. Are they still in prison?
No.
No, they're not.
They're all out. One girl got out. She was in for 10 years. Wow. And she got out and died within a year in a halfway house.
Wow, that's so sad.
I never got to see her. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She gave me the shoes off of her feet.
Really?
She literally gave me her black Nikes that she had worked and worked and worked to raise the money to buy them, and then had to order them and then wait for them to come in. And they had just come in, and we wore the same size shoe. And she said, "Here, take these."
Wow.
What was
the
it?
first week I was there.
Why did she offer those to you?
Because I was wearing big boots and had blisters all over my feet, and she had to wear the big boots because of where she worked in the camp. She had a job, and she was in like a high security prison and had on good behavior got to the camp. So she was a wonderful person. Yeah.
Wow. What's that like the first day you walk into prison? Was that just
Awful. I had a piece of paper. You're allowed to take one piece of paper with phone numbers on it, and they took it from me within 10 minutes of being there. They took the paperwork. A guard,
wow?
an officer that was questioning me, and they questioned me about, I don't know who watches your show. They questioned me about sex.
Really?
A lot of very I kind of forgot about this till just now until you asked me. A lot of very intimate questions, and questions that no guard at a prison needs to know. I was shocked by it. I was like, what?
Was there a reason? Was it just to humiliate you?
It was to find out answers, I guess. They wanted to know things.
How often?
And then the guy that questioned me got up and left, and someone else came in and started asking pretty much the same questions, not those questions, but the regular run-of-the-mill stuff. And I said, somebody just asked me. And they go, who? They didn't even know the guy. The people that were around me when I first went in, the officers and the guards, they didn't know who that guy was. He was from outside somewhere. He wasn't even part of that camp that was questioning me with all
Wasn't
those
even like worker
intimate details. Nope.
Wow.
So that was weird. And then they strip search you. And the night before I went in, a bunch of my friends from Pittsburgh flew out to LA and were with me all night in the house. And I was so worried about them strip searching you. You know, they look up your everything. And my friend, she's very witty, and she said, Ab, come on. Think about the person's job it is to look up your ass. They have to do it every day. It's their job. You have to do it once. Who cares? So they're doing it, and I'm laughing, just like you are. Tears are rolling down my face in laughter because I'm thinking, you poor fool. You have to do this every day.